you so much, everyone. Look at you. You look so wonderful from up here. Thank you so much for coming, and happy International Women's Day. First and foremost, I'd like to start by honoring the land that we're standing on tonight. Its ancestors, the Hohokam people, and its descendants, the Tohono O'odham. It's important that we recognize where we have been and what we come from. Tucson has more than 4,500 years of archaeology, history, and culture. We are an important city in North America, and so we have to recognize the people where we come from. So I'd like to thank you all for coming and for being here today. I'd like to thank my husband, Ruben Reyes, my two beautiful children, Emiliano and Luciana. Come and join me. Come and join me. I wouldn't be able to do this without my beautiful family. I'd also like to thank my campaign co-chairs, Cody Ritchie, which I just saw right now. Thank you so much. Also, Carolyn Campbell, I think I saw her here. Thank you, Carolyn Campbell and Cody Ritchie, for co-chairing my campaign. I've selected the most amazing, hardworking co-chairs for my campaign. Also, my campaign manager, Nate Segal, our finance director who's here, Nate. Our finance director, Shasta McManus, Chesney Richter from Arizona List, who is volunteering Chesney to our campaign, and all of the volunteers that are making this event happen tonight. Do you want to continue? Emily, that's Emiliano. I want to thank all the women whose shoulders I stand on. Ramona Grijalva, my sisters that are here, I just saw them, my sisters, my mother that couldn't make it tonight, Isabel Garcia, Lupe Castillo, Mary Matiela, Eva Dang, so many others whose shoulders I stand on and who have mentored me and loved me and given me their friendship.
Your brother?
My brother, my only brother. But you're not a woman, hermano. I'd like to tell you a little bit about my story and what has brought me here and who I am. I'm the daughter of Jose and Josefina Romero, who are fifth generation Sonoran desert dwellers. They moved from their little hometowns in Sonora to San Luis Rio Colorado, Sonora, where they met and married, had 4 adorable girls, and a very handsome boy, hermano. While my father immigrated, he came to the United States when he was 15 years old through the Bracero program. And he was a little baby. And he came to the United States because he was seeking opportunity. And he was a farm worker, did odd jobs, whatever he could do. When he met my mom and married her, they decided after they had 5 children to immigrate to the United States because they wanted an opportunity for their children. I was born in Yuma, Arizona, the only one born in this country. And my parents always reminded me that I had a special responsibility as a U.S. citizen. And they talked to my family and my siblings about the strength of family unity. They talked to us about how important hard work was, how important it was for us to give ourselves to community and family, and to always serve our community. So with those ethics, I grew up, and thanks to amazing teachers and my mom always telling us, I remember my mom would come home from 12 hours of work in the fields with muddy boots, and she would say, Regina, estudien porque les va a dar mucha oportunidad en la vida. And I'll translate. Regina, make sure that you study, because studies will give you opportunity in life, more than what we've been able to give you. And so thanks to amazing counselors and teachers, I took my SATs, applied for financial aid, and applied to both ASU and U of A and got accepted. And when I was 17, I graduated, and it was very easy for me to come to the University of Arizona and come to Tucson. And it was one of the smartest decisions that I ever made in my life. I joined my siblings here in Tucson, and Tucson welcomed us with open arms and with tremendous opportunity. I'm running for mayor of Tucson because I want to create a clean, safe, just city with economic opportunity for all families. I'm running for mayor of Tucson because I am prepared, I am qualified. I've been on the front lines working for you in my beautiful city. I've been doing this because I love it. And I want to be able to contribute for all of the families here in Tucson to create an economic opportunity for all of our children, my children, and make sure that we keep Tucson moving forward. I chose this place to kick off my campaign because when I first started here on the council 11 years ago, all of this did not exist. The streetcar did not exist. And thanks to the mayor and council working with Congressman Grijalva and the Obama administration, we got $63 million to create the streetcar. Yes. Because of my hard work and lobbying big time, the Pima Association of Governments, the Cushing Street Bridge that did not exist was constructed specifically to bring the streetcar into the west side. If you look behind me, we have the West End Station, which is an affordable apartment complexes for families. At least 100 families will be housed there. If you look on Congress and the freeway, Sentinel Plaza houses more than 78 seniors in an affordable housing complex. Yay. If you look to the south side, we have Mission Gardens, which I lobbied for the construction of that project and maintains the culture and traditions of farming, which we first had thousands of years ago. And we will continue working to make sure that Tucson, where our city was born, that we create a historic landmark designation right there. Because we have to honor our past to know exactly where we're going in our future. And if you look also to the south side, you see Caterpillar, which will bring hundreds of high-wage, long-term jobs to the city of Tucson. Some other of the work that we've done is that we saved Kidco during the worst economic recession since the Great Depression. I've been with you. I remember when I first started in November of 2007, And we started with so many dreams. And when we walked in 2008, in March of 2008, the Great Recession started. And so we had to save the city. We had to save the city. We had to save jobs. We had to save Kidco from being dismantled. We led in making sure that working families were protected. We led in making Tucson an immigrant welcoming city. We led in the fight against SB 1070. We led in creating a paid Cesar Chavez holiday to recognize a native Arizonan and to recognize what labor has done for working families. I called for the creation of an economic incentives office in the city of Tucson and the primary jobs incentive, which has created hundreds of high-wage long-term jobs. I have been with you from the worst economic recession since the Great Depression to one of the most prosperous times we've seen in decades. I'm running for mayor because I want to make sure that we take our city in a prosperous direction. I'm running for mayor because I am qualified. I am qualified to lead this city. We championed a water service area policy that protects water resources for Tucson residents and for our region. We led in permanently protecting Tumamoc Hill and Painted Hills as open space. But we didn't do it alone. I didn't do it alone. We worked with Mayors Walkup and Rothschild, with Council Members Shirley Scott, Richard Fimbres, Paul Cunningham, Steve Kozacek, and my wonderful colleague, Council Member Karen Ulick. I'm running for mayor because I know that we can continue our economic development that we have been doing so well in this city. I'm running for mayor as the only one, whether it's Democrat or other parties, as the only clean elections candidate in this field. And that matters because corporate money in elections is the problem in our democracy. Because from the halls of Washington to the halls of the Arizona State Legislature, money from corporation corrupts. And corporations have been electing people that do not represent working families. And I will. Every single time I've run, I have run as a clean candidate. This matters because I am not accountable. I will not take any corporate PAC checks, and I will not be accountable to corporations. I will be accountable to each and every one of you. So what are our policy priorities? Improving environmental sustainability. Climate change is happening now. Climate change is happening now. We need to create a climate resiliency action plan that makes sure we have massive solar installations, that we make sure that we continue with massive infrastructure rainwater harvesting projects throughout our city and our community, that we plant thousands and thousands of trees, that we make sure we create an electric vehicle grid throughout our city, that we electrify our bus system, make it more reliable and more affordable, and part of the sustainability conversation.
Yeah, very good.
Two, creating economic opportunity. We have had great success in the last 10 years to improve our economy. We have created more than 21 incentives to make sure that we're creating economic opportunity. I propose that we create a small business incentive program with the same breaks that we have provided big companies here in Tucson. We need to make sure that our small businesses, which are 60% of the job creators in Tucson, have the same breaks that the big companies that have come to Tucson have. Small, locally owned business investment. That we create small business navigators so that if a business wants to open, they can feel free and they can feel comfortable to come to the city of Tucson from when they're first thinking about it until they open. And when they open, that the city of Tucson makes sure that these businesses thrive in our economy. That each and every department in the city of Tucson understands how to treat our small, locally owned businesses. And that they understand that locally owned businesses are an important part of our economy. We need to create regulatory relief for small businesses, facade improvement programs. We need to make sure that we're connecting small businesses to loans. We need to make sure that they're working with nonprofit organizations to help them thrive in our economy. We need to make sure that small businesses are important as big companies that are coming to Tucson. Yes. We need to make sure that we're partnering with the University of Arizona and Pima Community College to increase access to higher education. Fight for funding for our schools and teachers, knowing that public education helps economic stability. Because the more educated our community is, the better our economy and the better our working families are. We need to make sure that in the city of Tucson, we have one program director that is in charge of homelessness in our community. That we use housing first models, and that director of homelessness is working not only internally with Tucson Police Department, with Housing Community Development, with each and every department in our city that provides service to homeless communities, but that we're also working with nonprofit organizations whose mission is to end homelessness. And we will. We have answers. We know how to do it. We can do it. And 3, that we continue in delivering core services and fighting for working families and neighborhoods. We need to continue fixing our roads. We need to continue investing in our parks. We need to continue making sure that we have connections to pedestrians and bicyclists that are safe, so that the roads not only belong to cars, but belong to people, cyclists, and pedestrians. We need to expand KidCo, which is an after-school program that we fought to keep. We need to expand it to make sure that working families can continue working, and that we expand it to areas of our cities so that other families take advantage of it. Amphi, Flowing Wells, Ward 2, Ward 4, Ward 5. Throughout the city, we need more slots in KidCo in the summer and after school, so working families don't have to worry about where their children are while they're working. We need to act on income inequality, starting with paying our city workers a minimum wage of $15. We need to plan for affordable housing and stop displacing our residents from our communities. And finally, we need to look at delivering services and infrastructure with an eye to equity. We need to make sure that we continue improving our city throughout our city, making sure that the pockets of poverty and the pockets of inequality are filled. So in closing, I have so many much more ideas, but I know you're cold. I want to get to the hot dogs. In closing, Tucson has treated our family with so much opportunity, so much love, that I would have never thought that a first-generation college-bound Chicana, daughter of immigrant farm workers, would ever be here in front of you 27 years later in my beautiful city, which I've worked hard to make prosperous, asking you to vote for me to become the next mayor of the city of Tucson. Join our campaign. Join our campaign because we have a diverse, strong coalition of LGBTQ groups, of women's empowerment groups, of neighborhoods, of small businesses, of labor, blue collar, a diverse coalition of people that are supporting our campaign, and we need you. We need you to be able to win and make history in our city. We don't want to just run a campaign. We want to create a movement and have that movement not only push us past winning election in the city of Tucson, but making sure that that movement continues guiding our policy-making decisions when I am mayor of the city of Tucson. Join our movement. Join our movement. Please vote for me to become the next mayor of the city of Tucson. I will be honored to continue serving our beautiful city. And thank you so much. Happy International Women's Day.